Don't miss this video. It's absolutely amazing. If you're watching it now, you're already part of it. And of course, before anything happens, you need to subscribe to this channel and don't miss anything important. One tap and you're done. Okay, hit the like button. Because the more likes this video gets, the more people will see it. And the world will be a better place. And of course, don't forget to leave your best comment ever.
Alright, yo, I'm about to do story time because y'all know, like, I always get on here and I be talking about, like, people dating preferences, and that's, like, one of my biggest topics. So, story time, because I feel like sometimes when I be giving game, a lot of motherfuckers be offended, but I be speaking from experience. Sorry that the light not even. I can't get it even, but... So, story time, I was talking to a dude and his ass was crazy as hell. Now, me, I got a record of, like, every dude I done fucked with, they ass is crazy. I'm crazy, too, but I ain't, like, I didn't talk to people that's mentally ill, people that's throwed off, motherfuckers that just crazy. And they all different. If you know, you fucking know. So, boom, I'm working at my job or whatever, worked at the grocery store, and... one day, like, this man come in and he got his kids and shit. I don't really talk to nobody with no kids, but honestly, like, at this time in my life, I'm, like, hella, like, I wouldn't say lonely, but I did want, like, you know how you always got a little boo to call, like, y'all at least go to eat, or, like, you just got somebody to do some shit with, and then I think my sister, we were super close at the time, like, she had moved states and shit, so, and then, like, my other friend, like, she be doing hers, so it's just, like, damn, so I was thinking, like, I kind of do want to, like, start back talking to somebody, whatever, right? So I'm at my store and I'm like on register and this man come up, dark skin, kind of buff, like very masculine, like vibe. He got some chains and shit on. I don't know. I don't really give no fuck about shit like that, but like, you know, he looked cool. But he had came with his family. Like he was with like.
I've gone back and forth whether I should put my business out into the world, but here I am. I'm 54 years old. I'm a widow and I'm new to dating. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the weak. You got to have a tough skin. You can't take things personal. So the other day I matched with a gentleman. By the way, if my children are watching, trust me, I'm not on Tinder, okay? This is Facebook dating. I ain't paying for shit. I matched with a gentleman and we had a great exchange of banter. So we exchanged numbers and we'd been texting for several days. Decided we wanted to meet for dinner. He lives about an hour and a half away. Even though he offered to come my way completely, I'm respectful. And I said, why don't we pick a place in the middle somewhere, middle ground, and I'll meet you. Okay, so we picked Sandusky. Perfect. He goes, that's perfect. I have a condo there on the water. I can work the last 2 days of the week at home. Let's go to the wine bar downtown for dinner and we'll play it by ear. Awesome. Sounds great. I woke up yesterday morning and realized we never picked a time. So I messaged him and I said, I know you had an 8 a.m. meeting. I hope it's going well. We need to decide on a time. When you have a minute, let me know. A couple hours go by and he finally messages. And he says, hey, I'm so sorry. It's been a crazy day. I'm planning on leaving here at 4 o'clock. Let's plan for...
Listen to me. So listen to me. Huh? Listen. I'm gonna call you back in 30 minutes. And you better have answers.
Alright, I got another insane first date story for you, and I bought a microphone, so this is getting legit. Starting off the same as usual. Met on Tinder this time, not Hinge. And same thing, talking for about a week or so. Finally asked her on a date. We drove separate. I was coming from work. She was, I don't remember, but we drove separate. And I learned from my past experiences. I stopped doing dinner dates. So this was just grabbing a drink. And it's going really well, actually. We liked a lot of the same things. We were pretty similar on what movies we liked. Horror, thrillers, mystery. Surprisingly, she liked action movies. We're just talking about, you know, normal get to know each other stuff. Oh, what's your relationship with your family? What do you like to do? Everything like that. And then out of absolutely nowhere, she gets a phone call. And she looks at it, mutes it, puts her phone back down. I'm like, oh, that's actually really nice. She's pretty interested in the date. They call back again, and this time she goes, okay, I have to go get this. She steps out, and I'm like, that must be important, called twice. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's work, something's going on. 20 minutes go by, I'm still sitting there, and I'm thinking, damn. I just got bailed on mid-date. But again, this is why I do drink dates, because it's not the end of the world. It doesn't cost me a fortune. So I get up, pay my tab, go to leave. She's outside getting arrested. And I guess this is on me for not really looking at her car, but I'm seeing her get arrested, and I look at her car, and she has a huge dent in the front of her car. And I go over there, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, we were just on a date. Is there anything I can do? Like, why are you getting arrested? Turns out she had an outstanding warrant for a hit-and-run DWI. Didn't say a word, thought, you know what? Oh, this just happens. You know what, I'm going to...
I'm ready to tell you guys about the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me on a date, ever. And enough time has passed that I don't think the guy that I went on a date with would ever recognize me or remember this. Hopefully. Let's keep it that way, guys. I went on a date with this guy that I met on Hinge. He got straight to the point. I was like, hey, let me take you out. I was like, hell yeah, I love a man that gets straight to the point. Let's go. He made all the plans. He told me to meet him for dinner. Boom, done. We got to the date. At first, I wasn't attracted to him based off of what I saw on Hinge. But it was such a great date. Like, I didn't realize how attractive a man could be based off his like mannerisms. He treated me so well on that dinner date. Like he was just so polite and such a gentleman. Dinner ended and we were heading back to our cars, and as he was walking me to my car, I was like we should continue doing something, like we should go get drinks or something. And he was like, okay, let's go to a bar. I should have gone home, but I didn't. Because we go to this bar, we meet his friends there. The bartender, she is like super attracted to me, and she keeps telling him like, I'm gonna steal your girl. So she's giving us free drinks. Like at one point she gave us these green tea shots that literally were the color black, and after that I don't remember a thing. After that shot, all I remember was waking up face down on grass with throw up all over my hair, all over my shirt, everywhere. And I was asking him to get me an Uber home, and him and his friends were like around me. I just remember like looking around, and they were like standing around me, and he's like, I can't get you an Uber because if you throw up in an Uber, you're gonna get banned. And I was like, I don't care. Like I was yelling like, get me home, and I was just throwing up everywhere. I was in and out of it. So apparently he said I fell asleep for like 45 minutes out on his front lawn, and he was trying to get...
Oh, yeah, one more thing. If y'all see me on Love Island, mind your fucking business, bitch. I'm trying to find love, bitch. Y'all had y'all motherfucking chance.
Do not listen to this scary story at nighttime or right before you're going to bed. Because I love you so much, I'm giving you this warning because what the fuck? So typically, I listen to a lot of Spanish scary stories because I like translating them for you guys. I typically listen to these when my husband's asleep next to me and I'm just like scrolling story through story, right? I will say when I listened to this story, I got full body chills, right? But I was like, okay, cool, I'm saving this. This is gonna be a good ass story, and I just kept going. A lot of the times you guys ask me in my comments like, how do you sleep after reading all these stories? And I'm gonna be honest, I sleep perfectly well. Like typically I'm not scared, and I wasn't scared last night, which is why it's so weird that I had a dream about this fucking story. I guess this story really impacted me more than I thought. So I'm gonna translate the story for you guys, and then I'm gonna tell you the dream that I had at the very end. So there was this girl, she was around 15 or 16 years old, and she lived with her mom. Unfortunately, her mom lost her job and they had no money, so they ended up losing their house as well. So one of the mom's family members tells them that they have a house that they can live in because they didn't want them to be homeless, but unfortunately this house was like away from civilization. This house was in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by like hills and mountains, but since the mom and daughter had nowhere else to go, they accepted the offer and decided to go live in this house. They end up going to the house, and when they get there, they notice the strangest thing ever. Right in front of the door is this big ass tree. Like the tree was so big that when they would try to open the front door, it would be hitting that tree. So the mom thought it was really...
I have the most insane dating story of all time. This was probably the single greatest piece of detective work I have ever seen from a woman in my entire life. It was both impressive but so scary and psychotic. But at the end of the day, I couldn't even be mad about what happened. I just had to applaud her efforts. A little bit of backstory. I had just moved to Charlotte at the time, just moved into a new apartment. I was super casually seeing people, right? Started hanging out with this girl. We hung out 2 or 3 times. On like the 3rd or 4th time, she came back with me to my apartment after a night out. We were walking by one of my neighbors. They have the Ring camera doorbell thing. This is a precursor. I'm thinking nothing of this at the time. We get back into my apartment. The girl's asking me, like, how am I liking the city, the new apartment, how am I settling in, if I've met my neighbors, if they're cool. I'm like, yeah, the city's sick. There's a lot of young people, a lot of shit to do. I haven't met my neighbors yet, but, like, I hope I will soon. Anyway, next weekend, she goes out of town. I go out in Charlotte. She comes back in the middle of the week and sleeps over. I go to the gym pretty early in the morning. So I like woke up and I was like, yo, I'm gonna go to the gym. Like, you're more than welcome to stay however long you want. Like, if you're here when I get back, great. If not, I'll text you. Like, have a nice day, whatever. I get back from the gym. She's not there. I text her, I'm like, hey, what's up? Just got back from the gym. No response. I'm like, fuck. Gave it a couple days. Texted her again. I'm like, hey, is everything all right? No response. Ghosted my ass. I get ghosted all the time, so like I wasn't even thinking anything of it. I wasn't gonna poke her pride, but you're always thinking like, I wonder what happened. Listen to this shit. Listen to this. Like a week later, I meet the neighbor. I see the dude in the hallway. He's like, yo.
What happened to your eye? I just have really bad hay fever, so they get a bit bloodshot and swollen sometimes. The pollen this year is just absolutely wild.
I just got back from the most horrifying first date of my life. And I need a therapist, I have trauma, like this was terrifying. I've been friends with this guy on social media and he has been, you know, a friend of mine for a little while, and he asked me on a date. You know, why not? I'm single, he's a good looking guy. So I said yes. I said, you know what? Yes, I will go on a date with you. So you know, I don't really hang out with this person. I've never really hung out with him. So I got all dressed, got ready, and drove my little happy ass to the restaurant. When I get there, he's sitting there all nice, you know. He's sitting there in his little, you know, outfit. He's looking good. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be nice. You know, we have appetizers. So I get up to the bathroom, I come back, and this man has a...
Well, this is awkward. What started off as a silly little story time about how my ex proposed to me over text with a ring has now turned into a series of who the fuck was I dating? So go ahead and sit back, relax, and grab your popcorn, because this is now part 3 of who the fuck was I dating, and I'm going to tell y'all how I found out this morning in the early hours that man not only had a girlfriend the entire time we were together, who is now his wife apparently, but also she was pregnant the entire time that we were pretty much together, and she just recently gave birth. Congratulations, I guess. I just want to make it very known that I had no idea that this woman existed. I had no idea that this child existed. I had no idea that he was seeing somebody else, because if I did know that, I would not have been involved with him in the first place. And he not only fooled me, but he also lied to his entire family. Nobody knew about this woman. Nobody. He lied to his brother, his sister-in-law, and his mother. Like, how you gonna lie to your mom, bro? How you gonna lie to your mom? And he'd always tell me, like, oh my God, like, I tell my mom about you.
This is a short dating horror story. When I was 22, I went on the first nice date I'd ever been on, and this guy took me, you know, to a nice restaurant on a date for the first time in my early 20s life, and I was extremely impressed. I was impressed by the multiple appetizers. I was impressed that he didn't let me pick them out. The only thing I picked out was my own entree. So after the oysters, after the hot apps, after the entree, at the end of all these courses, then he tells me that he's married. Which is weird, because we met at like the trashiest club in Bushwick. And I did not leave the restaurant at that moment. I kept dating him for like a month until he sent me an unsolicited photo of him wearing a latex gimp mask. And this is why I'm single.